Hello, my good friends and people of the world. I'm back. And I've made it a decision. I have taken a leap. One that has me a bit apprehensive, that has me a bit worried, but clear and excited. And I want to share this with you because I think it is reflecting something that a lot of us are going through as we enter into a new era of our lives. See, I've just quit my job. I've just quit. I've handed in my notice. And when we enter into the new year, I'm going to be fully self-sufficient. I'm going to be working on my own business and brand. Unless another opportunity comes through in which I can start earning money, which I'm also open to the opportunity. But right now, my main focus is following my goals and my dreams, and I'm betting on myself. And honestly, I'm in no position to do so. It seems like a completely irrational decision. And I'm going to be completely honest with you here, actually. Let me just share with you and tell you where I'm currently at in my life, so that if you're in a similar situation, you can find some solace and comfort in this. Maybe it will also inspire you. But I also want to be completely vulnerable. So for my future self, who has already made it, who is affluent and self-sufficient in his creative business, he can also look back at this and see the truth of where I'm at. So right now, here it goes, my vulnerability. I'm £2,000 in overdraft, thousands of pounds of debt. I'm living in my mom's living room in her one-bedroom council flat. And I've just quit my job. It seems completely irrational and illogical. In this financial predicament that I am in this living situation, why on earth would I fucking do that? But I had to, man. The shoe was getting too tight. And I could feel my soul starting to crush. I was becoming the worst version of myself. And that's not anything to do with the work. It's a beautiful place to work. And I have so much admiration for that job. For it's helped me grow so much. And it's helped me when I needed it. But I was becoming a worse version of myself in that space. I was starting to have so much bitterness and resentment and anger. And I've realized why now. And I'll get to that in a moment. But my soul was contracting. And I didn't like who I was becoming. And I had to take the shoe off. And although it makes no logical sense, and although I might have to endure some financial hardship again for a while, I have to adhere to my soul's call. I have to follow my dream. I have to follow my passion. And maybe the challenge and difficulty that I'll endure if I do, I don't know how this is going to go. This could start flowing abundantly. But whatever it is, I feel like I need it to grow into a better version, into a stronger version, into a refined version of myself. And I'm here for that. I'm here to endure that. I'll go for that. If that's what it takes to achieve my dreams, then I'll walk on as much glass as I need to, just to fulfill my soul. So I am nervous. I'm nervous and I'm scared. I'm scared to face the same challenges as I did before that got me into the debt that I'm in, that got me into the overdraft I'm in, because I've made this decision before and it didn't work out, But on another note, I made this decision another time and it worked out amazingly when I was building my permacultural business, and I spent the last £5 of my overdraft on these little permaculture flyers, and then I managed to get a benefactor. From my first client was a benefactor who gave me £50,000 to fund me and my business, and he didn't want anything in return. He didn't expect that money back or anything. And that time it really did work out. And again, I took that leap a few other times and it didn't work out. That business didn't end up working out for me. I had a change of heart and I ended up handing it over to the guys that I built it with. But that showed me what was possible. What happens when you take that leap of faith, when you fall back into the universe. And the other times that I did it, I still think I was doubting myself. I didn't fully see my worth and I didn't build something strong for myself. At least with that permacultural company, I had a company that I built, And I'm in this position now where I've built something for myself. Over the past few years, which has been very challenging, as I'm sure you resonate with. There's been a lot of difficulties that we've had to endure, and a lot of personal growth that we had to go through, a lot of inner exploration. I've built something over this year, a very strong brand, a Callum Vision, amazing visions, amazing visuals, directing and producing my own little mini movie series, creating my own little cinematic skits, and doing some stunning, beautiful editorial photography, which I'm very, very proud of, you know. I know what I can offer people now. I can see my value so much clearer, and I'm willing to bet on that now. So I'm taking this leap. And this, I don't say this, I'm not giving permission to anybody else to make irrational leaps like this, but I think there's merit in trusting yourself and to betting on yourself and to saying to yourself, like, I'm going to fucking do this, man. I'm going to commit. I'm going to unrelentingly commit to this dream and this desire, because there's nothing else for me to do than to fulfill my soul. That this is my heart's yearning and longing, and I have to listen to that. And that's where I feel like I'm at. I'm done ignoring it. I'm done playing small or half baking myself. I'm ready to dive fully into this, to dive into my own stream and current and see where it takes me, to trust fall back into my own arms. I know I can do this. I know I can do this, and I know I will make it. I know that I will get to a point where I can rewatch this video and just absolutely love the fact that I was sitting here in this little crusty ass courtyard while I build my dreams, you know. It's not a great look as a 26-year-old, but like, I'm also in a really beautiful, graceful situation. And my friend Faiko, God bless her, I know she's watching this because she supports everything I do. Love you, chick. You're amazing. She really helped shift my perspective a little bit on this, saying that, like, I'm in a great position despite the financial circumstances. That's whatever. But like, I'm not paying rent for the first time in a long time. I'm not paying rent. I'm still living with my mom. I'm being cared for again after a long time of fending for myself, you know. She can help cook for me, which is so nice to be cooked for from a mother again. God, it's so warm. But I'm like, I can afford to take the leap right now. Well, yes, many people will say like, you can't afford that, bro. You've got no money. You've got anti money, negative money. But I feel confident in my ability to make all that money. I feel confident in my ability to become in a very affluent space. I've learned a lot over the past few years about business, and I've failed so many times that it's inevitable that success is going to happen. I've learned so much. I feel fucking excited. I'm ready for it. So I know it's going to work out. I know it's going to work out. I don't know when, but that's kind of the beauty of betting on yourself. It's kind of the beauty of this path is like, it's completely unknown, but that's what makes it exciting. Infinite potential, limitless possibility. But as I learned from my recent mushroom trip, there's only one heart to follow. There's only one heart to follow, and that's what I am betting on, man. So if you're a creative, if you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've got that spirit or drive for self-sufficiency to move towards a dream that you desire, bet on it, man. Obviously, think through your decision, whatever it might be, but like, don't ignore that. I refuse to live the rest of my life ignoring this soul of mine. I have to adhere to this calling. Now, this job, the reason why I quit it is because the shoe was getting tighter. You know, as I was saying, I was becoming a version of myself that I didn't like. I was getting bitter, I was getting angry, I was getting frustrated, I was getting resentful. It felt like it was limiting opportunities that I could take. It felt like it was taking away so much of my time that I wanted to devote into my craft. But what I've realized recently is that it was creating this cognitive dissonance in me, where I wasn't living to who I knew I was. And I wasn't living to the values in which I hold and the beliefs that I hold. See, while I was working, because it's a fast-paced working environment, you just have to eat what you can when you can. And you eat what the chefs cook you. Sometimes they just make you nuggets and chips. Sometimes you get a salad. Well, you have to kind of make the salad yourself. But sometimes you'll get like a burger. Sometimes you'll get some pasta. But for the most part, it's not very nutrient-rich. And I'm somebody who highly values nutrient-rich, organic, local food. I have nuts and seeds on almost everything I eat. I try to get a variety of fruits and vegetables, all organic. I love eating well. And I haven't been eating well for this year. Because while I was at work, I'll just scran what I can. I'll scran the pizza when it came out. Because we get free pizza on Saturdays. I'll scran as much as I can. I'll eat whatever's fucked up. If they mess up a brownie, I'll just scran the brownie. I would eat excessive amounts of Lotus biscuits, man. Because I'll just get any kind of dopamine fix and energy as I can when I'm working. Way too many coffees. And we'll be drinking alcohol because we get free drinks as well at the end of a shift. And I'll be staying up until 1, 2, 3, sometimes even 4 in the morning because of my shift patterns. And because we'd be chilling after work, debriefing. So that would have a whole knock-on effect on my next day. So there was a complete dissonance, the way I was eating, the way I was living. And that felt like, I think that was where so much frustration and anger and resentment was coming from. It's because I was no longer living to the way that I wanted. And yes, much of it is down to my own will and my own control to make sure that I'm not indulging in those situations. But will and motivation is fleeting and fickle. It can only get you so far. That's why you need systems in place to ensure that you can become the person that you want to be, so that you can live the way that you want to live. You won't always have motivation. It comes and goes. And you only have a certain amount of will that you can assert in each day. So that's why you want to orchestrate your environment in a way to nurture and nourish the best version of yourself. Like a seed, you plant a seed into the soil, and you've got to make sure that that soil has the nutrients that that seed and that plant needs to become the most vibrant, fruitful part of itself, or version of itself. If you want more fruit, then you've got to give it more nutrients. You got to get rid of the threats, the pesticides, or get rid of all the things that are going to be harming the plant. And in the same way that we are a plant, we will naturally grow to our greatest potential. We will grow towards the light and fruit as many times as we possibly can to spread our seeds out into the world, our creativity. But it needs the right environment. You need the right environment. And that's what I'm realizing, that environment was no longer nurturing me. It was no longer nourishing me. If I fulfilled my karma there, I did what I needed to do. I got what I needed out of it, and it's time for me to go. So I made that decision. It took me a while to make that decision, It was only a few days ago when I was at work, and I was sitting there and I was like, I just can't fucking do this anymore. I can't do this. This shoe is too tight. And I asked the universe for a sign. I was like, just give me something. Tell me that this is the right decision to leave this job, because I'm quitting. Show me which way to go. And then FICO messaged me, and she says, the difference between you and the you that you want to become is permission to change. And I realized that was one of the things that I kept blocking myself. Every time I felt this way in my work, because this is almost like a repeating pattern I go through on a yearly basis at this point, when I start to outgrow the place and it no longer suits my needs, then I start to get uptight and irate, and it's just like there's this dissonance, and I'm fighting this place because I want to leave and I want to change, but I'm not letting myself. I'm like, no, you have to stay. You need the money. You have to stay. And then I get so frustrated, and I feel imprisoned. I feel trapped. I feel like a caged animal. So FICO saying that was like, actually, yeah, you know what? I can give myself permission to change. I can change. It's okay, Callum. You can change. Evolve, grow, fly, spread your wings, do whatever you need. Just change and grow. You're not tied down. This is a prison of your own making, my friend. All of this it's you versus you at the end of the day. You've created the circumstances and situations that you're in. So you have to learn how to work with it, or to change it, or to evolve it, or move it. You're the creator of this anyway. So that was the deciding point of like, yes, okay, I'm quitting, I'm done. So then the next day I handed in my notice, and that's that. I've got a week and a half left of this job, and I'm done. I enter the new year, and it's time to go full steam, full stint into my passions and my dreams and my goals. I'm ready. I can see my vision way clearer. I can see what I'm creating and the value that I hold. And I encourage every kind of artist and creative and entrepreneur to see that for themselves as well. That you can do this. You can do anything. You can be anything. This is your life. So don't live it. Constraint. I heard a quote yesterday that said, stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry and stay foolish. I love that. Because I'm hungry, man. And I've been needing a little bit more foolishness, and I just took it. And now I'm a fool. That's why I love the fool in the tarot deck. This person who's just outright beginning their new journey. He's just like away with the fairies in a sense, foolishly moving towards this call of adventure, the beginning of the hero's journey. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more. And like, I don't mean to say that from a place of dissatisfaction and ungratefulness. But I mean in the sense that my soul is seeking for more experience. My soul is seeking to expand, to grow. To take in more, to feel more. To feel what life has to offer. I want to go out there in the world. I want to see what's available. I want to meet everybody I can and feel whatever is possible. I want to go deep into relationships, create a wide network of connections, and cultivate a very magical and beautiful life of artistry and creativity with people that I love, with freedom, adventure, and spontaneity, with hope and optimism, with foolishness. I want to live my life like it's my first time here, you know? I feel like I'm on the precipice, man. And maybe you're feeling that too. I'm seeing it in a bunch of people around me who are beginning new, who are starting a new journey, or where the shoe is way too tight and it's time to take that fucking thing off. There's a whole new life waiting for us. We've been sleeping on our potential over the past few years, and I don't mean that in a degrading way. I think we've been going through a hell of a process, an intrinsic process of healing and growth and development and refinement and understanding, shedding, letting go. That's what this past year has been about. And number 9 year, the year of the snake, it's all about shedding and letting go. And then into this new year, number 1, fresh beginning, fresh start, the year of a horse, fire horse, like full ambition and drive, creativity and excitement. Is it fire horse? I think it's a fire horse. Yeah. It's exciting. So go for it. I'm not saying quit your job and put yourself in a bad predicament. Some of us have responsibilities. I wouldn't have made this decision, I don't think anyway, if I had a family that I was caring for, if I had a partner probably who was also dependent upon me financially. I would think this through more thoroughly, and I encourage others to do the same, but at the same time, don't keep ignoring that soul's call. Go for it. So, I think that's my podcast finished for the day. It's a Sagittarius new moon today. We have Venus and Mars coming into a synodic reset at the exact same time. That's an alignment of our values and our drive. Both of them being reborn. What it is that you're valuing. What actions are you taking? What philosophies do you hold? What is it that you feel you need? That's the opposition to Jupiter that's going to take place with a full moon as both of those planets go for a synodic reset. It's like, are you adhering to what it is that you're feeling? Do you have the emotional maturity to do what you value and what you need to do? Because there's a greater vision and goal within you. There's an expansive potential that's seeking to be actualized in this life and in this world. And that Venus-Mars rebirthing is representative or reflective of us really aligning our actions and our values. I think it's going to be quite a prosperous year. And on the message that I got from my co-star on the day that I had a trip with FICO that really highlighted a lot more of this to me, it said, this is the moment that you have always been waiting for. I feel that in my bones, you know. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what's in store. But I trust it all, regardless. I don't know where I'm going, but I feel really good about it. I don't know what's happening, but I love it. So let's find out, shall we? My love goes out to you. And I hope this next year is filled with everything that you want and desire and everything that you need. Go gently, my friends.